So I'll do a couple of them. Not a couple, I'll do a few. So 1, 2. I guess I can do these 4 and a few of the other ones. But if you know how to do these 4, you should have no problem with the other ones. So let me start with this one. And again, I apologize for the graph here. I mean, wish they had done a better job. So again, this one's okay. First equation, and both equations are okay. So they're already in the format that we want. So the only thing that might help, and you know what, I'm gonna actually rewrite these. That's the first equation. The second one is y equals 2x minus 6. Right? So let's start now. Use blue for the first one. So I know my slope is -1, and I'm going to put it over 1. So I know my y-intercept is +3, so it's going to cross. Right? So the line, whatever line I'm creating is going to be negative, so it's going to come down from left to right. And it's going to cross, it's going to pass through that point on the y-axis 3. So from here, it's not very, it's super simple, right? So it's -1 over 1, so that just means it's 1 down and 1 over, right? So this one, the changing y, so the changing y value is going to be 1. So it's going to, you go from here, you go down 1, and the changing x value, you go right 1. So down 1, right 1, down 1, right 1. That's already, we have more than enough points to create a line. Right? So hopefully I can do this. And I sort of can. All right. So that, I'm going to label my line, y equals -x plus 3. And now with the red, I'm going to do the other lines, 2x minus 6, so I know it's going to cross -6. Change colors. So it's this second line is going to cross, go over, pass through 6, negative. But I know it's a line that looks like this. Well, this one, it's a line that looks like that. So this one's a line that goes up from left to right, and it's 2 over 1, which means the change in y values, so it's going to be 2, and the change in x value is going to be 1. So y values, which is up and down, right? We're going to go 2 up, and how many to the right? 1. 2 up, 1 right, 2 up, 1 right, and we can tell that's already our point of intersection here. 2 up, 1 right, 2 up, 1 right, 2 up, 1 right. So that's our second line. Y equals 2x minus 6, and here is our point of intersection. Our point of intersection, it looks like it's the point 3, 0. I'm going to double check, and what I'm going to do is, let me erase this and get some room. I'm going to substitute wherever, so this is my x value and this is my y value. So wherever I see the x, I replace with 3, and wherever I see the y, I replace it with 0. So this becomes 0 equals -3 plus 3. And you can tell that those two equal each other. On the other side, y is 0 again. 2 times x is 3, minus 6. 0 equals 2 times 3 is 6, minus 6, and we're going to get that the left side equals the right. So 0 equals 0. So again, this point satisfies both equations. Next one, again, these two are in the format that I like. So I'm just going to rewrite it a little bit over. I'll put a 1 there. And on this one, I'm also going to put a 1, my coefficient. So I know, plus 1 by the way. Let's use blue. So I'm going to put this over 1, which means the change in y here is going to be 1 down, right? It's going to be 1 unit. And the change in x is also going to be 1 unit. So let's go to our y-intercept, which is 3. So I know this line is going to go down, right? From left to right, it's going to go down. So I'm going to go down 1, right? And 1 over, down 1, 1 over, down 1, 1 over. And again, we don't have to do all these points. It's just, I guess, nice to see them. I'm going to try to create a very straight line. Not at all. So that should have been a straight line, and I'm going to write y equals -x plus 3. So please use a ruler on yours. In red, this is a positive, positive slope. So I know my line is going to go up, and it's going to go through 1, positive 1. Here's my y-intercept. And again, this is a 1, so I'm going to put 1 over 1. equals 1 up and 1 over. So the changing y is 1 unit and the changing x is 1 unit. So it's going to go 1 up, 1 to the right. I'm not going to. So 1 up, 1 to the right, 1 up, 1 to the right, 1 up, 1 to the right. And this one I can do a better job, I think, of making a straight line. And our point of intersection is this point right here, which is 1, 2. So that's the solution to this system. And like I did in the previous problem, I'm just going to double check, and you should. So wherever I saw, this is my x value, this is my y value. So wherever I see the x, I'm going to replace as 1. Whenever I see the y, replace as 2. So this becomes 2 equals negative 1x, negative 1, sorry, plus 3. And 2 equals 2. So that checks out. Y again is 2. X is what's the value of x? X is 1. 1 plus 1. So 2 equals, and 1 plus 1 equals 2. So this value, 1, 2, the coordinate, 1, 2 is the solution to both of these equations. 3 and 4. Okay, so I don't know. So I'm going to write them a little lower. So again, actually I don't. I'm not going to write them lower because I need to make some changes. So let me do this the really long way. So again, we want our y to be by itself, right? And in order to do that, I have to get rid of the x, and I have to get rid of that minus sign. So I think it's easier if you do this. I'll line the middle. So I'm going to work plus y, plus y. If I do that, two things happen. One, this goes away. All I have is x left on that side. But the y on the other side is positive, which is one of the things I wanted to do. And it's y plus 2. I can't add those two. Now, the second thing I have to do is get rid of the 2. And in order to do that, I'm going to do minus 2 and minus 2. And that's going to give me y equals x minus 2. Right? And that's the same thing as y equals x minus 2. And just reverse sides, right? So I got what I wanted, which was y isolated, right? We rewrite this equation in terms of y. Okay. On the other side, this one is easier because the y is already positive, so I don't have to do anything. But I want to throw this. I want to get this x on the other side, and to do that, I'm going to do minus x. That gets rid of this x on that side, and I'm going to put the minus x on the other side. Whatever you do to one side, you do to the other. So now I have y left over here, and I get minus x. Minus 6, and that's my second equation. So I'm going to be working with this and that. So, no, oh boy. All right, so let's see. Can I lift it? All right, I'll lift it over here. So let's graph the first one. It's y equals x minus 2. So x minus 2 means it's going to, the line is going to pass through here. My x is positive, so it's going to be a line that goes from left to right up. And my coefficient here is a 1, right? So I'm going to put 1 over 1. So this is a 1 up, 1 over, right? 1 up and 1 to the right, 1 up, 1 to the right, 1 up, 1 to the right, 1 up to the right. So I'm gathering points so I can, create a line. And I only needed 2 points, but again, like I said, it doesn't hurt. So connect them up, make a line, and this is my line, y equals x minus 2. My other line I need to make is this guy here. My slope is going to be negative because it's negative x. Right, so I'm going to put a 1 over here and put a 1 under. It's going to go through negative 6. And it's going to be it's a negative slope, so my slope is going to look like that. So it's 1 down, 1 over, right? 1 down, 1 to the right. And you know I don't have any more room here, so I'm just going to do the other side. And there's our point, our intersection. So connect that line, and you can see that those two lines meet right here. And that point is -2, -4. And that should be the solution to our equation. So I'm going to substitute. Back to, let me see if I can go back up, scroll back up. I can't, no I can't, I can't. And let's substitute. Let's see if we actually get, if it satisfies. So x is -2 minus y, which is -4, equals 2. -2, that becomes +4, right? equals 2, and negative 2 plus 4 is 2. So it worked for the first equation. And the second one, again, x is negative 2 plus y, which is negative 4. That should give me negative 6, and it is, because negative plus a negative here. It's going to be negative 6, and negative 6 equals negative 6. So we're good there as well. So again, that point satisfied both equations. All right, so let me, again, we want to rewrite this equation in terms of y. So I'm going to subtract x from this side, subtract x from this side. These two go away. Y equals negative x minus 2. That's done. And then this one, again, there's so many different ways you want to do it, but you want to isolate y however you do it. So I'm going to throw the y to the other side. I'm going to do plus 4y. Plus 4y. So these two go away. I have 7x left over. On the other side, I'm going to have 4y plus 8, or if you wrote 8 plus 4y, doesn't matter. My y is now positive, which is great. So I want to do minus 8 here, and I'm going to do minus 8 here, because I'm slowly going to isolate my variable here, right? So the 8's go away. I'm left with 4y equals 7x minus 8. So, and the last thing I want to do is divide by 4. Right? And if I divide this side by 4, I'm going to divide everybody on the other side by 4. So this is divided by 4. This is divided by 4. Finally, I'm going to get y equals, and this is going to become 1, right? 4 divided by 4 is 1, times y is just y. On the other side, 7x over 4 stays. Don't change that. And then 8 divided by 4 is 2. So that we can rewrite as 2. So if we look at this, actually, let's start with this since we're already here. If we look at this, our y-intercept is here, so I know my slope, which is 7 over 4, is positive, so that means it's going to be a line that goes from left to right up. So it's going to be 7 units up and 4 to the right, so I'm just going to put an arrow here, 7 up, 4 to the right. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 up, and how many to the right? 1, 2, 3, 4. And again, that's enough, and then I don't have obviously more room, so I'm gonna try to make this a little bit better. Hopefully this one I can make it a straight line. So no, I can't. Okay, because that keeps moving. So again, it's gonna be a straight line. And as best as I can, here's my straight line. Stretch it out to the other side. All right, so that's my line. Y equals 7 over 4 x minus 2. And the other line I need to make is this guy. So in this one, my slope, I'm going to put a 1 over here, put it over 1. This one is going to cross negative 2. And as you can tell, we already found our interception. So both of these lines go through negative 2. So that's probably a point of intersection. This is a negative slope, which means a line that's going to go like this. And it's, again, 1 down and 1 over, right? Because it's changing y is 1. So it's 1 down, 1 over, 1 down, 1 over, 1 down, 1 over. And on the other side, right, connect the dots. And again, oops. It's go like this. And this is my line, y equals negative x minus 2. And where they both meet, they cross, they intersect here. And that intersection is called 0, negative 2. So that's our answer. And again, double check. Let me get rid of all this stuff. I'm going to substitute the x and y values. Here's my x value, this is my y value. So wherever I see a 0, I put a 2. Wherever I see as x, I put a 0. Plus y, which is negative 2. Equals negative 2. 0 plus negative 2 is negative 2, and that equals the negative 2 on the other side. Over here, again, is 7 times 0, because x equals 0, minus 4 times negative 2, because that's y, equals 8. 7 times 0 is 0, so that goes away. And this, we're left over with negative 4 times negative 2, which is negative 8. And, positive 8, which is definitely equal to the 8 on the other side. Pretty simple. I'm going to look over the next page. I know there's quite a few, not that many, but see if there's any of there's interest. Let's do number 4. So number 4, there's nothing to do in terms of rewriting the equation. Both of them are in terms of y. So let's look at the first one. The first one, things I know. It's a negative slope, so it's going to go negative down. And my y-intercept is positive 1. So I know that line is going to go through this point. So it's 3 over 3, 2, so which means, so again, here's my slope 3, 2, so go down 3 and to the right. 1, 2, 3, to the right. 1, 2, 3, to the right. And 1, 2, 3, and again, that's our line. Label it. And on the other side, the other one, it's a positive slope, so it's a line that's going to go up, but it's going to go through negative 3. So it's going to go through 0, 1, 2, negative 3. It's going to pass through here. And the slope is 1 over 2, so 1 up and 2 to the right. So 1 up and 2 to the right. 1 up, 2 to the right. 1 up, 2 to the right. So we can see that line is going to go that way. Y equals half of x minus 3. And here's their point of intersection. And that looks like it's 2, negative 2. You need to check. So go to both equations and substitute. So 2, negative 2, this is my x and this is my y. So I'm going to put a negative 2 over here. Equals negative 3 over 2 times 2 plus 1. Are they equal to each other? Well, nothing to do on that side, so that's just going to be negative 2. Sorry, let me find a better place to write that. So I'm going to continue here. Negative 2 equals, this 2 and this 2 crosses out, right? I can simplify that, so that becomes 1. And I'm left with negative 3 plus 1, which is negative 2. So for the first equation, these 2 points worked out. The second equation, again, I'm going to substitute right on top. Y equals negative 2, so that, again, this is negative 2. Equals, and then 1/2 of x, which is 2, right? I'll write it over here. Negative 2 equals 1/2 of x, which I'm going to replace with 2, minus 3. So negative 2, this 2 and this 2 cross out, becoming just 1, and I'm left with 1 minus 3, and negative 2, and 1 minus 3 is just negative 2. Okay. Let's do 5. 5, there's a lot of things we can do to make our life easier. One of the things I would do is probably divide this whole thing by 2. I mean, you can graph it as it is. You know what? Let's take this. 2x plus 2y equals 6. So we want to isolate the y. So we want something that says y equals something, right? So we're going to get rid of this, minus 2x. 2x. So we end up, this goes away, so we get 2y equals negative 2x plus 6, right? And then we're going to divide everything by 2. So I'm going to divide this by 2, and I'm going to divide everybody on the other side by 2. Y equals, and this becomes just negative, I'm going to write negative x plus 3, right? Because 2 divided by 2 is just negative 1, and 6 divided by 2 is 3. So our final answer is negative x plus 3. So that's our first this one. For the second one, and I'm going to do it over here, I had 4x minus 6y equals 12. This one I'm going to do it differently because I keep throwing the y to the other side. I think it's easier, but if you like, let's start by getting rid of the 4x. So let's minus 4x. These two go away. Negative 6y equals, and on the other side, I want to write the other one in the format of x and then the constant. So it's negative 4x plus 12, right? So now I have to get rid of the negative 6. I'm going to divide this by negative 6, and then I'm going to divide everybody on the other side by negative 6. Negative and negative is a positive. I'm left with y. Negative 4 and negative 6 is going to be positive, but I'm going to simplify. I'm going to write 2/3 of x. And then the other one is positive 12 minus 6, which is negative 2. So that's my other equation. So I have these two, and I'm ready to graph. So let's take a look at the blue one. The blue one's a negative, it has a negative right? So it's going to negative, slope is negative, so therefore it's going to go down, but going through positive 3 on the y-axis. So it's going to pass through there, 1, 2, 3. And this is a slope that goes down, so it's 1 down, 1 over, 1 down, 1 over, so forth and so forth. That's what the line looks like. So this is the y equals negative x plus 3. Let's graph the red one. The red one's going to be positive. It's going to go through negative 2, so it's going to go through this point. And it's, because it's positive, we're going to go up 2 and then right 3. So up 2, right 3. And right there is our point of intersection. Up 2, right 3. Down 2, left 3. So if you're graphing on the other side, you got to do the opposite. So our point of intersection is, looks like that is 3 and 0. Yeah. So when you substitute, it doesn't matter where you substitute. Actually, they always say to substitute in the, at least my teachers told me to substitute in the original equation. So I'm going to take the original. Okay. So let me get some room here. So we don't need all that anymore. We don't need all this anymore. What we do need is that. So 4x minus 6y equals 12. Let me replace the x and the y with 3 and 0. So it's going to be 4 times 3 minus 6 times 0 equals 12. Is that really true? 4 times 3 is 12. 6 times 0 is 0, so that goes away. So I end up with 12 equals 12. So that checks. And the second one, 2x plus 2y equals 6. And again, it's 2 times 3 plus 2 times 0 equals 6. Is that true? Well, it looks like it. This is 0, and 2 times 3 is 6. Both equations were satisfied by the point 3, 0. Okay. Is there any other one? Well, let's do, well, 6, because 6 is a little bit different. I have to get, I have to go. I'll do this last one. Y equals 3, that's easy. So 1, 2, 3 is this line right here. So, okay, right. Slope is 0, and the y-intercept is 3, so that's what it looks like. This one I'm going to rewrite. So x minus x equals negative 4. Let's do plus x here. Sorry, minus x here. I don't like doing it this way. Minus x, I like throwing the y the other side, but that's okay. So these two x go away. I'm left with negative y equals negative x minus 4. I have a problem because it's a negative y, so I'm going to divide this by negative 1 to turn it into a positive. So I'm going to divide everybody else by negative 1. So that becomes y. This becomes positive x. And negative 4 divided by negative 1 is just positive 4. So that all becomes positive. Let's graph this. Let me put up 1 over here, right? Because that's my slope. It's going to go through 4 positive. There's 4 right here. So it's a slope that's going to look like this. From left to right, it's going to go up. And this one is going to go 1 up. So again, put it over 1. So changing y is 1 up, 1 to the right, 1 up, 1 to the right. Okay. We can graph. Oops. That line looks like this. And it's going to cross. So this is y equals x plus 4. And this is y equals 3. And it looks like this is the point of intersection, which is negative 1 and 3. And if you substitute, so take the first equation, y equals 3, we're going to replace this number with 3, right? And you can see that 3 equals 3, so you're good. On the bottom one, you got x minus y equals negative 4. We're going to substitute x with negative 1, minus, and we take the y, we replace it with 3. It's negative 1 minus 3, negative 4. Yes, it is. So, okay. Hopefully, that helps you guys a little bit. Okay.